This is one of the best decisions I have ever made. Here is why I no longer try to ace my exams. Hi guys, my name is Liddy and I'm a UK-based medical student. I use this channel to document my journey to becoming a doctor as well as sharing some student tips. In the past, I used to study for countless hours and get so fixated with scoring top marks in every single one of my exams. In this video, I'll cover why this ultimately put me at a disadvantage and why I now regret it. In A-levels and GCSEs, as a straight A star A student, I wanted to be at the top of the class so bad. And this actually incited so much stress and anxiety. This meant that at a young age, I started developing very unhealthy habits to the point where I would define anything and everything that wasn't me doing work as being unproductive. And this is actually far from accurate. Now that I'm at medical school, my mentality has completely changed and I learned very quickly that I couldn't continue doing this. With the large volume of work that you have to deal with at medical school, it really forced me to make a decision between creating an unattainable, intense work routine that reflected the fact that I wanted to be at the top for reasons related to pride, ego, and self-worth, or I could strike a balance for myself that ensures I adequately pass an exam and receive a good enough percentage without letting my grades define my self-worth or my happiness. But does this mean that you can't do both? We'll touch on that soon. But to come to this realization, I really had to do a deep dive into the why. I really had to sit down and ask myself, what is your why to wanting to be at the top? Is it pride, ego, not feeling valuable or worthy enough as a person that you feel the need to attach your identity and worth to your grades? If I could go back into the past and speak to the younger version of myself, I wouldn't say, don't work hard for that A star that you need to get into medical school. That is naive. But I would tell myself to prioritize my mental health as much as possible while still working hard. I strongly believe that I would have still received top grades at GCSEs and A-levels without having to put myself through such an unhappy and strict regime. This allowed me to come to the conclusion that an unsustainable work routine is simply not necessary. And I definitely didn't want to regret in the future how I decided to spend my 20s. There is more to life than education. I know it's ironic coming from an educational content creator that has literally spent half of her life in education. But while I strongly believe that education is such a valuable tool that I am so lucky to access, if you're not enjoying your life, pushing yourself beyond your limits and sacrificing your mental health, then what is the point? Being a hardworking university student, or any student to be honest, doesn't have to be associated with toxic productivity and burnout. This is a lie that so many of us have actually gone on to internalize. You get to choose how you want to shape your life and what you want to prioritize. No one else dictates that for you. Making time to self-actualize, invest in myself, and pursue hobbies and interests that are beyond my education has allowed me to see such a dramatic difference in my long-term contentment. And if we're being honest, hyper-focusing solely on scoring top grades has never and will never bring me the same level of fulfillment. If I look back at my 20s, I want to remember the experiences and memories that I made. Not me suffering in the library 24/7. That is not life. But I know that at this point, the burning question that most of you are thinking is, can't you do both? As a multifaceted individual, I know a lot of you are thinking, why this black and white thinking? Why can you only do one? And I want to emphasize that I am not saying that it is one or the other, enjoying your life or doing really well at medical school. No one is saying that you have to pick one or the other. And I guess my answer to this can actually be split into 2 points. Point number 1 is that you need to contextualize it for yourself and your own individual situation. There are many people who are able to score at the top of their class with a healthy study routine and also make time for themselves and people they love and things they enjoy. However, in a situation where trying to be at the top of your class and trying to ace every single exam is to the detriment of your mental health, it may not be worth it. In my personal situation, putting that goal in mind, as I have in the past, will without a doubt lead to burnout and me just being generally unhappy. Everyone has different thresholds and different levels of self-discipline. However, I know myself well enough at this point to address it and to come to the best conclusion for me. I think that it is amazing to aim high, and I am by no means saying you shouldn't. But if it comes to the detriment of your mental health, you may need to adjust exactly how high you are aiming. Because regardless of the achievements and the grades and the milestones, your happiness and fulfillment should always come first. The matter of fact is, and I've learnt this from experience, achievements don't hold as much weight if you're unhappy. Point 2 is, not aiming to be at the top and ace every single exam does not take away from your intelligence. That is simply a pride thing. I still work very hard for my exams, and that's why I've been able to excel through medical school. Despite making this decision, I am still a very smart, intelligent woman, and my academic records speak for themselves. But I can confidently say that at this point in my life, my academic goals and my work routine is healthy. The hustle is healthy. I have stopped attaching my self-worth to my grades, and I've become increasingly better at avoiding toxic productivity and not beating myself up when I'm taking a break or not doing work. My mental health regarding my academics and life as a student is in a much better place since I made this decision. And if this is what I have to sacrifice in order to be number 1 in all of my exams and top of the cohort, then I don't want it. And I think a lot of us need to be honest with ourselves, swallow our pride, and really take a deep dive as well into our working habits and certain decisions that we are making regarding our academic lives. If you want to see how I manage my 50-hour work week in order to strike an efficient work-life balance, be sure to click this video right here. That's it from me today. I really hope you enjoyed my video on why I no longer try to ace my exams. I'll be sure to see you in the next video.